Okay, let's see. So we're going to be taking the state manager that we wrote in the last stream and setting up the rest of the game mode with it. So it's going to be a lot of refactoring. That's what's going to happen in this. So, that being said, we'll start looking for some things like this. So this is all the stuff that I'm likely going to need to change. But it also depends on... Well, actually, we can refine this down a little bit more. So we could do like this, go like this. And then we're looking for a equals. So it needs to be like a space and then equals. Yeah, there we go. So 58 results. So that's our refactor scope is what we'll be looking at. So as you can see, we have quite a few things in here. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this figured out. Player data, bank number. So we don't want to just like set this immediately. What we can do instead is, so we do state manager, set, I'm going to pass player, bank number, and then we can get the result here. Bank number, let's put that in there. Oop. And is it going to complain because... Okay. Let's see if we can fix this. Because it's complaining that the key is just non-existent. So maybe we can do an OR statement here, but that actually might break a bunch of other stuff. So let's just double check. Let's see what happens. Oh no, we can do that. Okay, perfect. So we can do that or string. So let's add that to both of those. And that will let us automatically save everything based on that. And then we can remove this. Perfect. Okay. So we have that in there. Let's see. Okay, so that's one of them done. Let's kind of refine our search a little bit more. Maybe something like this will help. So that's just doing player inventory this, but that's a clear inventory command. So we can just do that with await or state manager set player inventory. Wait, is that actually gonna... Ah, that actually broke it, so I don't get that autocomplete now. So I actually I want that autocomplete. So let's see if I can fix that. I mean, we might be able to fix it with like one of these, maybe? I'm not sure. Let me see, because like the highest priority is getting... Okay, can we still do this? Yes, we can. So we'll do inventory, and then we'll pass a blank inventory like that. Save it. Hey, how's it going? We're gonna do the same thing here with toolbar. And we can remove this. And oh, these are in core commands, so I should actually be doing like state set. Because it helps with making everything a little more clear as far as what needs to be looked up. Toolbar. There we go. And equipment. Let me adjust this actually. There we go. Okay, so now we have the time of death stuff, which doesn't affect us. It's not what we're looking for. This one is another one that we can do. So we do Athena state set online player faction. We do faction ID to string. Same with this one. Athena state set player. What is the architecture of the framework? We mean like TypeScript, or I mean it's TypeScript, Vue, and that's about it. Or a MongoDB. So it's all just, the entire thing is TypeScript though. So we're only programming in one language across the entire thing. So. So we're gonna set bank here. And we're going to do player data bank plus faction clone dot bank. Don't need to save the field because it's saving in here now. All right, let's look at the interior. So we do Athena state set player interior, and we're going to pass interior.uid. Then we remove these two, and then that's going to happen here as well. Athena state set player interior, set that to null. So here we're doing multiple different changes here, but we're also doing different field saves based on this. So we have cache bank and so on and so forth. Let's see, how are we gonna do this? You hear about typings in Next.js versions? No. I don't think so. Are you talking about how JavaScript is going to get type support or something? Like a proposal for it? Is that what you're talking about? Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to think about what I need to do with this. So we need to take this data from player data cache. So it's subtracting, setting the player cache to 0. So let's do start cache, start bank, and then we're going to do start cache equals 0. And down here we're going to do start cache equals start cache minus amount left. Amount left equals 0, and then we'll do start bank equals start bank minus amount left. Alright, and then we're going to take this data and save it based on these two parameters here. So we're going to do a Athena state set bulk. We're going to pass player, and then we're going to do it's going to be bank, start bank, cache, start cache. And then once those fields are saved, we can do the rest, which is emit beta. So it should work accordingly. I'm going to have to do some tests with it to see, but I think it'll be fine. Alright, so here's this one where we're doing some modifications to the inventory. This is a conversion function from 202 to 3. I don't even think we need this anymore. You can probably get rid of this, actually. So let's just get rid of that. And convert. Get rid of that. So let me make sure there's no additional references to this. No references, okay. Wanted stars. I don't even think we use this anymore. Somebody might use it though, so I'm just going to update it for the sake of updating it, which is going to be Athena state set player wanted set it to stars like that. Okay, let's see. And in the case of this inventory function, we want to know, or we want to set up, this is for setting up an inventory, I think. Or synchronizing is what it is. Okay. So if this doesn't exist, we want to create the toolbar, we want to create the equipment, we want to create all these if they do not exist. So let's just do a set for this. And we'll do inventory. Set that to an empty array. Toolbar, also empty. And equipment, which will also be empty. Perfect. Okay, so now we do hours, where we want to set this up with hours, and we'll set that to 0. But we could probably make this more efficient though, where like, because right now it's just adding it to it and then saving the field. So if we do if we do player.data.hours equals 0, we just set it to 0. Otherwise, what we do is we do player data hours plus this amount here. And then that will automatically save based on that. Okay, so character ID, which is getting a number based on that, so we can do Athena state set player character ID, and then we're going to get next character ID. Just going to use this await function here, and then we'll add that in here. Okay, so that's in there. We don't need to save twice. We'll remove that, and we'll set an await here. And let's see. Player data equipment. Set character ID. So let's pass equipment here, and we'll pass an empty array. Okay. So that should have everything for, or that should cover most of the stuff for a lot of the data changes. Now the other thing I need to do is the save field stuff. So that's going to be, let's see, Athena player save. So there's a lot of these in here where we're doing modifications to the inventory, and yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in here. So here we're saving inventory and equipment. So what we can do is now we can just do an Athena state set. And we'll pass player, and we're going to pass inventory, which we're just going to use player data inventory, as well as equipment. And then we could pass the synchronization of both of those. Should probably wait for this though, before we synchronize it. Okay, so this is setting the dimension, and then we're doing a save after that. So let's do state set player dimension, pass the dimension here. Okay. And let's see. Now we have interior, so kind of the same thing. We just need to change these to interior. Okay. And let's see, inventory add. So let's do state set. So Athena state set. inventory. And we'll just pass inventory here. Am I saying something?
I see.
You can kind of say something. You'll be alright. Player not target. For which one? Oh, you're saying for that last one, huh? I don't remember which one I just did. Set dimension. Yeah, you're probably right. Let's go see if I can find that real quick. Set dimension. Oh, you're right. You're right. Target dimension. Why is it sending it? Oh, okay. Set dimension of target data name. Okay, yeah. So that's what we needed. Yeah, you're right. And we need to do that down here too. So this is actually just target. And new interior of target.data name is interior.id or whatever. Okay. Okay. Now we're good. Okay, so this is, what is it? So weapon command. Theme state set flared. Let's see.
And he's trying to isolate his voice so it's only his.
Better? Okay. Let's see. So we do Athena player set inventory. And we're going to do player data inventory. And then that synchronizes the inventory as well.
Hours.
Athena state set. What is this? Oh, this is the cuff stuff. Toolbar.
The keys.
Cuffer data toolbar.
And it looks like he started at like.
Then we also have like a state function here, so we do Athena state set. Oh, this is a bulk one here, so we need to do set bulk. Copper, and then we should be able to just pass these, I believe. Do you made any changes to core cuss, by the way? Like if the person cuffy came into the inventory restrict? I have not changed it at all. I haven't touched that code in probably months at this point. There's a bunch of other things that it pretty much needs to be reworked and simplified. So I haven't even bothered to fix it or anything. So for now, it just kind of exists. If that makes sense. State save wait set player vital name, and then we do. I guess we could just pass vital name as well. Pretty much going to set it to itself. Ooh, that's interesting, actually. Now that I think about this, some of these sets will not save because of how I'm doing this. Because the value needs to exist beforehand. So if I'm doing like a set with a player data inventory, or not inventory, inventory is fine. But if I'm doing something like health or anything of the sort, and it already has that value in there, it's not going to save it. So some of these functions have to be changed. Let me think about this. Okay, so we're going to add... We're going to add a force save parameter to all of this. Yeah, so we're going to add force save in here, and what that will do is, let me add this in here, Boolean, force save. And then if, there. So now it's going to check if this equals this, and then if like the force save is false, it'll return true because of the comparison difference. But then if we do, we need to add that actually up here as well for the bulk data set. So that's going to be force save. And let's add that parameter here as well. This. Okay. So now we have that in there, and then this is like the comparison difference. So if we just do if force save is true, what we're going to do is just continue here. And then we're just going to pass the data to update with the new key regardless. And then what we need to do is go and look for something very specific, which is Athena set, or Athena state set. And hold on, let's set up a regex for this. And we're looking for anything with player data, like this. So here we're going to do true. And then here we're going to do true as well. Okay, then the other issue is that these need to, or this needs to take a, we need to be able to pass. It's only allowed in a function or constructor implementation. So since this is an override, can I just set that down here and will it work? Function you're trying to call needs 0 arguments, but you're passing 1. So why can't I do a function override? A function override with... I don't remember. I don't know what to call this. It's like a not like a pre-configured, but like a default Boolean. No, not a default Boolean. A function override with a default value for an argument. I don't know what this is called. So I think I'm able to do, let's see. So if we look at, hey Dex, how's it going? So if we look at like force saved, so this should actually be optional. Same with this one. And that one stays the same. And down here as well, or up here. Also need to set this up for the vehicle as well, so this can be, it's this, but we also need to set a key of string so that I can take any version of that. Move these to booleans. Okay. So that fixes the errors revolving around that. So now we can use the same data if we need to, and that'll force the save for like these inventory based ones that are kind of weird. Vital true. Hours. Actually, I don't think we need it there, but that's okay. All right, so now we're gonna look for even your overrides have overrides, exactly. It's mostly because the so the new system Dex for saving, you can just do state set, and that's going to save. So like, let's say I want to save a certain player data, it's going to give me this completion here, which is all the data that's been extended and things like that. And what I can do is I can specify my own as well, and it won't even complain. So now I can set armor, and I'll have that armor completion, or if I want to do something new, like new value, I can also put that in there, and it won't complain. It's pretty handy. Or if you just want to do it in the traditional sense, you can also just do, you know, player data, whatever. But then you don't have to do things like this to make it compatible. Where if you did something like this, it's going to complain. So the state is going to let you set variables without it ever complaining, and you'll be able to get variables based on that. Or state, rather, I guess, but yeah. And then let's see. So we have player data. So we were looking at Athena player save.
The main base that Trevor and I built.
Oh, it's not going to take that because we want regex. There we go. Yeah, so we have is dead here. We are already doing a state manager set for this, so we can actually remove this. And let's see. Then we have inventory, player data inventory. We're going to change this to... Is this a async function? Yes. Await Athena player save, or Athena state set. Player inventory, player data inventory. And we're going to do a force save on that. Hey Manu, how's it going? So here, Athena state set bulk, player inventory, player data inventory, equipment, player data. Athena state set, player toolbar, player data toolbar, and we'll force to save on that one. These async? No, they're not. Athena player state set, player inventory, player data. So now all these like sync inventory things, I could actually get rid of these entirely. Because what I can do is like, well no, that's not true. I can't get rid of them. I can only get rid of the ones that are actually changing the inventory. So never mind, I guess. We'll leave that one alone. How does this work actually? What are the references to this? Fields to save. Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna touch that one. Well, maybe. Hold on. Field I. Selected slot name and slot name. What is this? Save field, fields I, player data, fields I. I don't even remember what this function does. It says it's just a string though. So it's getting the field name and it's... Okay. And then this is actually going to be key. Key string. Any. And we'll do fields I. player data fields I. Then we can do Athena state set bulk player bulk data to save. We'll do true.
Large.
And that should still pass through those functions that it's going to, or those callbacks it's going to emit when the data is updated. Ugh. Athena state set player inventory player data inventory.
Yeah, very large dildo.
Inventory, player data inventory, true.
Mm. Yeah. He's a big boy.
Okay, so on tick should automatically be doing that save functionality already. Yep. Okay, so I don't need to do that one. Toolbar. Why is this doing that before saving the field? Do not know.
Have you heard Bo Burnham's song called 5 Years?
Toolbar and set that to true.
No, it's one of his newer ones.
The same thing here. State set player inventory player data inventory. Will this work for custom interfaces created like adding to character info partial? It should. So let's say, let's take a look. So if we look at ATM, we have like bank account number, I think. Bank number. Right, and we have this. Let's see. So it's complaining because of this, I think. The meta name. So in the case of this, I think it's actually not going to see this one because of how I set this one up. Yeah, it's not going to see that one. But if I actually define something like actual bank number with an actual type, it should. Oh, it doesn't. I thought it would. Huh. You know, it's probably because it's extended. I thought it would, but anyway. I mean, either way, what you can do is you can just put it in there manually or have like your set type somewhere, like a shared type or for a meta name or whatever. So in the case of this one, I could actually do, instead of bank number, I could just do meta name. So you could have like your list of available extensions that way, which would also help. So I guess that's a limitation with it, because I don't think I can fix that unless I'm somehow able to get the module version of the character extension, which I'm not sure. Yeah, because then we'd be looking for... I don't know. I don't know if I can get that. Well, I did it with and without the module for alt server, right? So... Hey, thanks. Get module declaration. I don't know if I can do that. Hold on, I'm looking. Declare for alt server, declare it by itself. So you're saying that maybe. Oh wait, declare. Type Bardfest. Go back to the metadata one you had. Alright, let's see. Are you saying just remove the extension? I think that would work either. Now just copy the character interface without alt server. Right, but then I have to take that and put that in the other file, which is not... Or unless you're saying something like this. Exactly. I don't think that'll work. No, it doesn't. It still doesn't work because where it's pulling this from is inside of here. So it's pulling the original character, not from the module itself. So this is getting the key, like this is getting the interface property keys of this specific interface. So unless there's a way for me to get that character interface from the alt server, like, global module, I don't think it's going to be possible. I'm looking around. Hold on. Maybe I can do... Well, have you tried out the new state manager stuff? That's what I'm having an issue with. It's not the player data.x or y or z or whatever. It's more of the state manager aspect of it. So that's not going to change anything because alt server doesn't recognize that, because you know we're doing this whole extension thing like this, right? And then we usually have like a character thing in here. Like this one down here. Is it because it's a partial take it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause we've been like obsessed with
No, that doesn't matter either.
Just that we progress the story.
And it's just looking for all these additional types that are just not there.
Yes.
And I think that's, yeah, that's why it's all partial. Interesting. It makes me wonder that, like, if the character interface inside of here, like this one, let me try something here. I think it's gonna matter for this, but let's try it. Why not? I'm gonna leave it empty like that, and then let's see if no, that's not gonna take it either.
We'll say that trying to get used to these controls again is just so hard.
Because there's no way for me to get it from, like, the module specifically, right? It's just not gonna see it. Like, it's not gonna see those global declarations and stuff from the module. So I don't think there's any way I can do that, so I'm gonna have to leave it as is. Which is fine, you know, it works for what it is, but there's definitely limitations around that. Alright, anyway. Not waste too much more time on that. Being a state set player inventory, player data inventory, true. That in here as well. I'm sure there's a few of them that I missed somewhere. Well, I haven't done vehicles yet. That's a different one, but maybe I didn't miss any. Bus fuels, garage, name tags, paint shop, voice weather, Discord. That should be fine. I think we got the stuff in here. So we have player const, whatever. Okay. Which is all just stuff inside of here. And we can just do state const, set bulk player, select data.name, player data, oops, player data, select data.name, set that to true down here. Then we're going to copy this. Your new WebView stuff broke the HUD. In which way? Or which HUD, rather? Both, actually? Mine and yours? Here, hold on. Let me check. I was in game earlier and I didn't have any issues with it, so... so what about this is broken? Like I see health food, etc. The bars are working. Health is working. Well, I did change a bunch of stuff as far as, like, it's registered the same way you did. So, did you also update the stuff that's inside of... Hold on. Did you update all the WebView stuff for client-side for it? Because there was a bunch of changes made to it to make it register correctly. Because we have... When it's opened, like, all this stuff here got changed. You changed that, you changed visibility. I don't actually think that matters, to be honest. I'm not sure where you are going to need to look to fix it on your side, to be honest with you. So, like, all the new WebView stuff is... Most of it was already changed for that. Here, the only thing I didn't do here was actually... Because we could do page name. This. Oh, actually, no, we can't change that. We can't change that. I did change the ready function. The ready, so there's two ways that the ready function works. So we can do ready like this, which is page name and then internal functions.ready. But then if you use the WebView controller, that means that you have to make the HUD also reflect the ready function. So that means inside of HUD here, we have like ready somewhere, if there even is one. Yeah, so we have component name ready. So we don't use this now, if that makes any sense at all. So this actually becomes WebView, I think it's just WebView events. And then we do emit ready. And it's its own sufficient, it's its own ready, like, how do I put it? It's its own function for emitting to that specific type of event. Yeah. I'm actually just gonna make that small change there since it's already like that. I don't even need to do view anymore. But that should also still function normally like this, yeah. I open and then I close. Yeah. Still doing exactly what it should be doing. Yeah, the main HUD's not working for some reason. Yeah, that's interesting. The other thing is, I heard that, what was it, Stream Synced Meta isn't working, but I don't really know. I don't think our stuff actually has anything to do with that. So it should be mostly fine in that case, but who knows? Well, there's an issue revolving around that, so it wasn't already reported in an issue, but I did. Somebody forwarded it to me, and I forwarded it to the AltV devs. So hopefully it's getting resolved, or maybe it was resolved last night. Who knows? Maybe update your server files as well, just to be sure. State set. Already did update, okay. Did I actually use that? I'm not supposed to use this. I need to use state const, as it's going to cause issues in this specific file. Bulk, player, equipment, player data, equipment, inventory, player data, inventory. Were ignored, 2 errors were not ignored, so we have this one, which is supposed to be a promise void. And probably this one down here too. Yeah. All right, so now we need to test some things. So we're going to write a example plugin to do the tests. Let's call it, I don't even know what to call this thing. Server next.ts. Let's grab this. This. Don't need to do that. So what we're going to do is check a few different things. We're going to see what gets emitted from the state manager system. So let's do on. I think we're missing something here. We're missing state manager. We're missing subscribe. All right. So, subscribe is, it's just going to listen to any key change. So we're just going to have if instance of entity not equal to, or try to remember how this works. Entity instance of alt player. So if it is not this, we're going to return, ignore it because we're only looking for player changes, and we're going to log this information. So we're going to do key, old value, new value. Let's log. All right, then we're going to test this and see what happens. So if we do an inventory move, okay, look, so already we have food and water emits. We have position, health, armor, and key hours changes. Now we can subscribe to all these different events based on that. Let's see. So the other thing I'm noticing here is that these values, even though they're different through, yeah, we're always going to be calling them regardless. So if the values are the same, we want to ignore it though. So this is part of the thing that we want here. So if old value equals new value, we're just going to return. To give us a better understanding of what's actually happening inside of here. Yeah, so this is ticking up hours based on how often we're playing in game. It's doing synchronization for the position. And we're not doing comparison checks on objects. Okay, so that being said, let's do an inventory change. Yeah, so that actually did get changed, so there's no issue there. Now let's do a toolbar change, maybe? No, that's not gonna work. What else can I try? We could do health, set health 150. So this should actually, wait a minute, did I get this backwards? Old value, new value. Did I get it backwards in my test file? Old value, new value. Oh yeah, so this should actually be new value, old value. Or wait. The old value, new value. What the heck? Make sure this is getting processed correctly. Old value is first. Old data, new data. Data to update. Process callbacks, the old data, which is target key. New data, key. Maybe I read it wrong. That's super interesting. Why is it doing that? Target data key. What am I missing? Because it's calling it multiple times because it's different, right? What did I break? I'm not sure yet. I can't figure it out. Let's see. Let's walk through this. So let's start at the health, I guess. That's a on tick function. Which isn't really on tick at all, but anyway. So we have player data health and player data armor. And then we go to set it inside of set bulk. So assuming that it's 150 in the data, then we go through each key, which is going to be things like health, position, armor, etc. And we process the callbacks. we already have the old data there. The new data is being passed.
Heard of a cursed pillager amulet? No, but you can make it.
I haven't pushed these changes yet, just so you know.
Doesn't seem too.
This is all stuff that's unpushed.
Well, no, it says that it absorbs dark ender and.
So we have health 150, and it's getting passed or whatever. We're doing position, armor, etc. Why is armor this value? Position, health. Yeah. Armor, position, health, armor. What the heck? Oh, armor's not being processed. Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so that's... Why is health being updated in that's so weird. As we're passing the key, we have the old data already. Old data. New data. Unless somehow it's like getting this reference of the... That's interesting. That doesn't look right. Look at that. Look at that object. Why is this... Oh no, that's a vector. Okay, that makes sense. So 150 new data, 199, but that's wrong then. Because if we look at new data, we were setting it to 150. Right. But I already set... The new data should be 150 and not 199. So something's up with that. Do we do safe add health? What does add health do? Well, this is just setting the health outright. Well, no, never mind. That's player health. Oh, I think I know what I did. Yeah, I'm dumb. This health data position, whatever. This should actually just be this. Yeah, that was definitely wrong. And yes, you're right. I do need to add the Boolean as well. Duskcore, thanks for the random Prime sub. So, set health 150. There we go. Okay, so now it's 150, and then the data in the console should reflect 150 too. Yeah, old data, new data, 150. Which is exactly what it should be, because we're doing it based on player data excerpt. If I'm not mistaken. Our current is 150, so if I change this... 160 new data. Okay, so if we go to player, why is it happening twice? It's not happening twice. This is logging all sorts of different things, unless you're saying that data is not different, and that's because of. Hold on. So when we do set player health, set health, is that what it is? So when we do set health, we're doing where is it? Finish set health. So down here we're doing add, and inside of add we have, I thought we had a data update. We don't have a data update, which is interesting. So where are we setting player data health again? You keep getting new data equals 0. Is that armor? That is armor. Handle character select player data health less than equal 99. Should have included the key in your login. That's what this is. This is only updating position changes. But hold on. So no, this is all exactly how it should be functioning because our logs are throwing out values that are the same already. So inside of the state, we don't check for same data when we process the callbacks. That's put on the person that's writing the plugin. Unless I do an override, which is like true for the compare difference, which is here. But that being said, we also have, hold on, I think we need to console log. There's no console logs in here. You double check everything here. Okay. Yeah, it's including health and armor because it's already a log that's like deeper in here. It's a different type of log. So for the example of like when you're talking about how this, so like this onTick function, what it should be doing instead. So like let's look at what it actually should have in here. So it should be a partial of character, right? And we should do if player position, or if player and player dot position and player position x is not equal to, or we'll do minus player data position dot x. Hold on, we're gonna have to do this actually. Vector, thanks for the sub. How's it going? So we're going to look for changes that are greater than 1. And we're also, here, we'll do xdiff. It's a really long equation. I don't want to do it twice. Woke up the if statement like that. And we'll do y here. So if xdiff is greater than 1 or ydiff is greater than or equal to 1, then we're going to save the player. Why not use distance? Because this is a cheaper function than doing distance. And then we can just do player.us. Then if player data, player health not equal to player data health, injections dot health equals player dot health. Oops. Same thing here, player armor not equal to player data armor, injections armor. Okay, so now all of these will get saved based on what's inside of it, and then if injection or object keys injections dot length less than or equal to 0, we're going to return, and that'll skip saving anything we don't need to save. Now we should get something a little, hopefully that makes a little more sense. I think I just realized why. No, we're good. Okay. So here's our warning here for data. But the thing is, like, none of these values, this one's different. This one is not different because we're not doing a, wait, let me check. 212, 212, 259. Yeah, that looks about right. So we're not getting any more of them, but if I move around, we should get a position update. Yeah. Oh, you don't see that. But anyway, yeah, we have position updates there. 230, 259, 230, 259. So this one's interesting though, because like, did I do this per? Ah, yeah. Okay, so is it this? But we also need to figure out which one is the greater of the two. So there's an issue there too, and I think about it. So yeah, maybe we can just use distance, like what you were saying. Let's just use distance. Okay. We'll just use 2D though. And then we don't have to worry about math absolute or whatever else that kind of comes out of that. Why is that complaining? Is it because it doesn't know? Okay, so if player valid or data, turn. And then we should alt.vector2 partial. No, it's looking for a vector2 when I have a vector3 for the position. Go drink water. Oh, you're right. I don't even have any more water. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So, water. I promise. Promise it's there. Okay, so distance is there. Let's try this again and see where we end up. Okay, so we wanted to check the position. Hey, how's it going? So you use distance. I had to use distance. Only because I don't know. So the problem was when I was doing player position minus like the player's current data position, for like X, Y, Z or whatever. I don't know which value is bigger. I mean, I guess what I could have done is checked the resulting difference if it was less than equals -1 or greater than equals 1, and I mean either way, whatever. Okay, we'll just do a distance check. So we're not getting any additional updates here, which is good. So then we have... Hey, thanks for the sub. But yeah, so we have that there. And so now we're getting position changes based on that. Whenever, you know, that's running at the moment. So as we're moving around, we're getting those position changes. And then if I do set health, like 199, I should get a health update here in a second. Should, keyword. Doesn't look like I did, so that's interesting. So player.health is not equal to player data health. So why is it not calling that? Let's look at the callbacks. So we have target data key, which I don't think we're doing. We're passing old value, new value. So what did I miss? On tick. Way too many things open. So if player health is not equal to player data health, then we do an update. Same with armor. That health, 150. We didn't even get that called in here yet. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, it's definitely in there. But maybe the data that it's sending is somehow the same? Which sucks. Yeah, so that's checking old value, new value, so... Let's do a check against... Let's remove this. Let's see what's happening. So for some reason, the old value and the new value that's super bizarre, actually. Why is it doing that? Data type, we're getting the target. We're setting this here, but maybe it's affecting the old value? That's very strange, actually. Let's set that last. Because we're not using target data value or whatever, so... So set health, 199 or 150. And it's still getting that same value regardless. It's just like repeating the... That's absolutely strange. I don't get it. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'm super confused. Old value, new value. What's even weirder to me is like, well, the food and the water are updating based on their like the vitals and stuff, right? So we have vitals here. We only want to change it if they are different. Where's adjust vital being called? Adjust vital food. Some kind of rate. But we're not like really storing like the old vital value. So if we do old vital value, undefined or okay, so we have so we do old vital value, which is going to be player data vital name, and then if actually shoot that needs to be called in here. Old vital value number. Leave that as undefined, and then we'll just do old vital value equals player data vital name. Same thing down here, but we do it based on this. Because at this point it should be defined, it shouldn't matter. Let's just add an if statement in here. Type of. And then down here, if it's not equal to this, then we do a state set. Okay. Okay, that only fixes some things. That still doesn't fix why the state manager, when we're doing a bulk set, hey, I found the bug. I missed one variable, and that was the entire bug. Let's see. There you go. It's fixed. Yeah, hours are increasing, which is what it should be. The vitals should not actually be playing multiple times. Like this. (30418520018). That's interesting. Okay, so if we look at what did I miss in there? Old vital value. Setting it regardless. What are we missing here? Not equal to player data vital name. Old vital name, player data vital name. Console log. Old vital name. Just do this. Player data. I just want to see what the difference is between these two, if there is any. There shouldn't be, but... Oh, there is. Okay, so this one, there's difference here. Same thing here. This one's also changing, and that one is also changing. Okay, so my question is, why are the old and the new values the exact same? Does someone actually know how to use those new camber settings? I don't know if anybody does. They have a menu for it. You might be able to ask them for it. They might release it. Okay, so I know it's not an issue inside of here. It's something inside of here, inside of set, that's causing this issue, and that's probably because that old value... Nope, we have the old value, which is target data key. Passing old value, new value is taken from new value. Target data key. Key, old value, target. We have old value, new value. Wait, did I get that backwards? I didn't. Old value, new value. I don't know what I'm missing. It has been a while. Hey, Silence. I'm good. How about you? Rob does. I try to ask. I'm afraid of asking. Yeah, reach out to him. Maybe he'll give you some information. You good?
Hear that?
Huh? They can hear you sometimes, not very often. It's fine. Ugh. Let's see. So we have process, callbacks, target, key, old value. I'm super confused because like the vitals, it's somehow like getting the vitals still, which is very strange. Like how the value is how do I put it? The value, the old value and the new value are sometimes being called regardless of if they're the same or not. Like, so if we look at, unless I left something in here for health, I think or player data food or whatever. No, I didn't. So what I'm confused about is like, so wait, let me walk through this. So we have a vital name that it's fetching, right? Could be like food, water, whatever. Select character will always do a force vital update, which is checking to see if it's even defined. And then there, actually, we need to do a set. This, yeah, we need to do a set for this. And we can just do 100 here, and we don't need to do that.
There's nowhere I can find some brown.
So that'll do a force update on that. And then we have the old value here, which is being assigned when we actually get a value. Then the new value, which is supposed to be
brown mushrooms.
So if we look at like console log, old value set to old vital value, right? And then down here, we should also check new value should be, or we'll do old value double check or something. Old value double check. I don't know why it would be reassigned though. That doesn't make sense.
What's this?
Whatever, let's try it. See what happens.
Big old building on it.
So we're in game. Stuff is ticking. 34. So the old value is 2, and old value double check is still 2. Okay, so it's not like the old value is being overwritten or anything, right? It's exactly what it should be. So then down here, if the old vital value is not equal to player data vital name, which is like it actually changed. Old vital value. And then we do player data vital name. And then it calls the state set or whatever. So it's like emitting the wrong number. Oh, I'm dumb. I get it now. I get what's happening. I'm fucking idiot. Okay, so what's happening is that I'm updating this data and it's just... Okay. Okay. No, I get it. So realistically, what's happening is that I have this old vital value, right? And what I need to do is we do old vital value plus equals whatever this is. Same thing for all this down here. Down here, we're just checking if it's undefined or whatever, and then we assign it, and then we just do old vital value equals whatever this is, which realistically it doesn't even matter at that point because we're setting a fixed value, so there's no point in doing that. And here at this point, we want to check against the current existing one, and if it's different, which it should have changed, and then we, instead of doing player data vital name, we do old vital value. And then same down here. And the reason why is we're taking an instance of the old vital value and we're doing our comparisons here. Okay, yeah. And before, when I was just emitting it like that, this would always be correct because, I mean, yeah, I think that makes sense. There's just, I don't know. It's really dumb, but let's see. So now we should only see changes, actual changes here. So we have a water difference, and we have a food difference of like 0.05 now. Same here, 0.05 difference, 0.05 difference. And it's like slowly ticking down. So now we're getting the correct updates for vitals. What a pain. Alright. Then I think I'm just going to leave it at that then. And work on some of this again some other time. Leave it on a good note. So let's go. And raid somebody random, I guess. Sorry, you're literally joining right as I'm ending this stream, so. Let's go raid somebody that push changes. I'll push changes in a bit. I may keep this code until I'm done testing it. I don't even know who we're gonna raid, honestly. Raid this guy. He used to stream League of Legends back in the day. He's pretty popular, but he's not playing League, he's actually coding. So that's super interesting.
Oh man, the raid. Thanks for watching. Oh hi. You come just in time to watch me horribly fail at this problem. It seems so easy, and then it got so intricate. Yeah, well, I really like competitive programming, actually. But after getting a real job, I haven't had so much time for it. So it's been a few years since I really streamed.